Hey, welcome back. This is Reliving the Lights, Friday Night Lights rewatch podcast. I am one of your hosts, Josh Kuipers, and this is my good friend Anthony Hookman. Anthony, it's been a little bit since we've sat down to record, and boy, we've got some good ones to talk about.
Yeah, we've got a couple of doozies for sure in this week's episode and next week's episode.
Yeah.
We have actually, you guys at home don't know this because we've got so many in the can that we're ahead of it, but we actually have taken a full 2 weeks off from recording. So we're excited to get back into it. Of course, you folks at home are getting the content streamlined to you no matter what. So
yeah. We do that for you, like we got you guys covered, but I have been kind of chomping at the bit to get back at it. Very excited. And then of course I still just barely finished watching the episode before we sat down to record. I only had 2 weeks to get that done, but this will be great. What have you been doing in your time off from recording the podcast? You've been out there seeing the world and making the most of your time?
Nope. I have been working and doing some school work. By the time that this airs, hopefully I will have graduated college. If not, let's just edit that out.
Yeah.
So
nice.
No, I've been swamped with work and schoolwork and trying to also have a social life. It's been my life is chaos for the next 4 weeks, but after that, maybe I'll get out and see the world a little bit. I did get to see Platt, South Dakota last week.
Yes, sir.
And our lovely friends and friends of the show, the Erickson brothers.
Yes.
This was a true delight as always.
Yes. Yeah. I was pretty bummed I missed out on that little reunion there, but we'll be having at least a couple of the Ericksons on here shortly. Maybe even by the time this airs, maybe we've already done it. But that's good. In my weeks off, I was pretty much the reason that we took those weeks off. So had a family camping trip with some friends. We tried out the camper thing with 3 kids, 4 and under. And it went. I would say it went about as well as you'd expect it to. So, it wasn't great, but I was anticipating that. So that was good. I also got back to Platt, which was very nice. A short trip, but yeah, we're back at it now.
Very good. Yes, we're excited to be back and entertaining the few of you listening out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And what are you drinking tonight? It looks very nice.
Yeah, I've got a nice mojito, homemade mojito. It's actually a recipe that I stole from the restaurant that I used to work at. Shout out to Bracco in Okoboji, Iowa.
Oh, nice.
On their menu, it'll tell you the secret stays here. Well, I hate to tell you.
You're not going to leak it on this podcast.
I hate to tell you, Dave and Rick, but the secret did not stay in Okoboji. I will not leak it on this podcast, but it is the best mojito that I've ever had. I did tweak it a little bit to make it, I would argue, even better.
Ooh,
bold statement. But no, Rick and Dave, they've got a very good program going down there. I miss it every day. Shout out to my friends in Okoboji. I love you and I miss you.
Those were, I mean, I don't know personally, but it sounds like those were some pretty crazy summers.
The one summer, but yeah.
It was just one? Man. Seemed like you had enough boji for a lifetime.
Oh, I would argue summer. I only got a taste, but no, I did. I do have a mint plant out on the deck. So this is,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Straight from the
deck to glass,
straight from my little garden out on the deck with, we got some mint and some tomatoes and some basil and some jalapenos. That's my baby is the jalapeno plant. I'm very excited about that.
Yes. Not all in the mojito though.
Just the mint is in here, but I just wanted to brag about the rest of my garden.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that crazy of a mojito recipe.
I only got to see Steve Erickson for a few minutes last week, but I told Ross and Jordan and Tyler that I was disappointed I didn't get to talk to him more because I kind of think of myself as a farmer now. So I thought maybe you'd want to talk some ag, but didn't get the chance to do it.
Yeah. How many acres do you farm? Like 5 pots or?
Yeah. I'm bad at math, but I'd say about 1/100th of an acre I've got going on out there.
About 3 cubic feet of dirt. Good deal. Well, yeah, I'm proud of you. Grew up on the farm, so now we have something else in common. That's great.
Yes. What have you got going over there?
I've got the Exile Brewery's Ruthie. It's very nice. It's a smooth gold lager. Ooh. And you can get this around the local bars and stuff on tap. It's kind of like the craft beer that is generally accepted around here. You know,
sure. Where's that out of?
I think it's West Des Moines, if I remember correctly, or Des Moines. Yeah. All right, good. Well, let's get rolling on episode 12. Originally aired January 10, 2007. What to do while you're waiting. Movie Dude 1 has got a synopsis for us this week. Why don't you go ahead and read that for us?
All right. Matt's dad decides to stay home instead of returning to Iraq, while Jason's parents level a lawsuit against the coach for negligence. Smash tries to get closer to a girl, but he keeps getting in the way himself. The whole town awaits another game involving 2 other schools, with the results determining the Panthers' postseason hopes. I mean, as usual, it was a very, very oddly grammatically notated a couple of sentences. But that we're going to dive in here, obviously.
Obviously, we have to.
That description contains 2 of my biggest issues with this episode, so we'll dive in there.
Okay.
But 2 of the things that I was very confused about in this episode. So why don't we go ahead and dive into to what we've got on hand here?
Sounds good. Once again, Movie Dude 1 could have been better, but we thank you. You're giving us something, and we appreciate it. All right, so those 2 teams that Movie Dude 1 alluded to, we find out right at the beginning of the episode that Buckley has to beat Arnett Meade in order for the Panthers to be it. Now, at this point, I thought to make the playoff, like if Buckley beat Arnett Meade, they'd just be in the playoffs. Like that was
You know what? That's exactly what I was alluding to, and where my confusion comes in, because we'll get into this in episode 13.
Right.
But in that episode, all of a sudden they have to win a game to make it into the playoffs. Right. And so it's like you are going back on something you said. I mean, back-to-back episodes, they kind of ignore this issue. But we'll forgive them because it's a great show.
They think they can sneak these things by us, but little did they know that one day there would be a podcast where we are dissecting every little single thing, and we notice these things.
I'd like to speak directly to Jason Cadams at this time. I really hope somebody got fired for this blunder.
It was confusing. It was like, what? Wait a minute. Okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. That's fine. Kind of like Julie Taylor just suddenly becoming a year younger, or I don't know. Anyway,
we'll dig into the playoff chances in the next episode.
Yes,
but the episode kind of opens up on football practice. Well, after we hear Slam and Sammy Meade talking about Buckley and Arnett Meade, and we've got and this is something that confused me too. I've got a lot of questions that probably aren't going to be able to be answered.
Okay,
but while football practice is going on, cheerleading practice appears to be going on, at the same time, at the same place.
Yeah. That's not distracting at all for anyone.
Right. Well, especially for young Tim Riggins, who is creeping on young Lila Garrity.
Yep. And that's not the first time we've seen that either. So apparently this is a thing that happens for them. So we find out that Saracen's dad is not going back to Iraq.
Another thing I have a question about.
Okay.
I've got family members in the military who served overseas. None of them. And my uncle was pretty high up in the Guard.
Uh-huh.
He was like command sergeant major in South Dakota, which is like the highest position you can receive in like non-combat or something like that. I don't remember what it is, but it's very high up.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, thank you. Jim Hookman, who's definitely not listening to this podcast. Shout out to Jim Hookman. But how does Matt's dad have the ability to just make that decision? Nobody I've ever known has had like served overseas, come back on leave, and just been like, I'm just decided I'm not going back. Like, that is not an option. I don't think.
No, that's not how it works. For sure. So, but that decision has been made, and he's just not going to go back. He's not going back to Iraq, which obviously Matt is, pretty excited about. He's
he's kind of come around to his father.
Yeah, because he's definitely gone back and forth. At first, he wanted his dad to stay, and then he's like, "It'd be better if he weren't here." But now, okay, Henry is staying. Yes. So we see Coach and Tammy walking up to their house. Coach gets served papers, a lawsuit from the Street family, which is awkward. And then
gets even more awkward.
Yes. So everybody in town is obsessing over the Buckley Arnett Meade game, including the guy who serves papers to Coach, because as right after he serves him papers, he asks Coach about the Arnett Meade Buckley game.
Hey, Coach, you think Buckley's got a shot against Arnett Meade? And Coach just gives him a look of like just burning right through him.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah. What a bold move.
Yeah. So he and Tammy are kind of talking about it. Coach is trying to keep the perspective that it's not personal. It's probably, this is just what lawyers or insurance companies or whatever tell him to do. But he's trying to keep that perspective. Jason finds out that the word has gotten out about the lawsuit. It's on the front page of the Dillon paper that morning. And he is furious.
Yes, he is not thrilled. It is quickly speeding back to his parents' house on his wheelchair.
Yep. So he confronts his mom and dad about it. Very, very angry. We see Jason's dad just leave the house in anger, kind of, or frustration. It's obvious the family is very divided over this issue. Things are not still not well in the Street household.
Yeah, and we do get kind of a scene there where his mom is right. Like his mom is like, he should have taught you tackling drills, right? And then you kind of see Street kind of fall into that. He's kind of getting gaslit.
Yeah.
By his own folks, which is a true bummer. But not as much of a bummer as Tyra's home life, as we're seeing shortly after. Now, this was a little bit confusing for me. I've got a lot of question marks in my notes.
Okay.
Because I don't think I realized that Tyra's mom's boyfriend was a boyfriend.
Okay.
Right away. Because he says something I wrote down about how the women in that family have a genetically superior ass. And I was like, what's up with this guy? You say that to your own daughter. And even, don't get me wrong, that's a messed up thing to say, even as the boyfriend of the mom.
Oh, very. And let's not forget, folks, Tyra is maybe 15, probably 14.
Yes.
And this is her mom's boyfriend commenting on her genes and her genetically superior rear end. So this is a problem. This is not a good guy.
Not okay. No. And we'll see a little bit more of Tyra's home life as the episode progresses. But also, I have a quick note. And obviously, this will be a big part of this too. But we also have another insight into Matt's home life as his dad is having a difficult time finding a job.
Yes.
So, rough week all around for our main characters.
Yep. We get a little scene of Coach at practice, letting the team know that they are expected to go to the annual Women's Booster League Rodeo Fundraiser and Fair. So Coach says, little issues come to my attention, gentlemen. The annual Women's Booster League Rodeo Fundraiser and Fair. Shut up. Shut up.
There's an immediate,
Yeah.
But I think Coach actually starts enunciating shut up before the groans even come.
Yep, he knows it's coming.
Great.
Yeah. Matt goes to Buddy to try and get his dad a job. I guess Buddy's the guy that makes things happen. So that's who to go to.
And in that scene, we've got not only my choice for quote of the week, but also for Buddy Garrity's sleazeball move of the week. Yep. I'm assuming you also wrote this quote down.
I have a quote, yeah.
As Matt walks into the dealership and he's like, "Oh, Buddy, Mr. Garrity, I hope I'm not interrupting you." And he's like, No. And he like pulls him aside. He's like, "Well, I don't want to start." And Buddy goes, "Those are just people. You're my quarterback."
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
His quarterback is a different class of human being, apparently.
Yeah. Those are just people. You're my quarterback. I also want to point out, this doesn't count probably in the outdated pop culture reference of the week, but Buddy Garrity had the Mac in his office. That was the dome with the screen coming out. Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice. 2006.
Do you feel like Buddy Garrity would be using a Mac?
No, I don't.
No.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
I don't think that Buddy Garrity would be using a Mac normally, but I could see him seeing that computer and being like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like a status thing, to have that sitting on his desk. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that makes sense. But Buddy does tell Matt to send his dad over and he'll hook him up with a salesman job on the lot.
Backup mojito.
Oh, second mojito. Very nice. All right. So we see Coach going in to talk to Street's dad at his place of work. Apparently Street's dad is a pharmacist, it appears. Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. Yeah.
It starts out kind of okay.
You know what? Coach, I think right away kind of comes off as almost like the bad guy.
Yeah.
He kind of comes in and I don't remember his exact words, but I did note Coach kind of coming off as the bad guy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Street's dad was very sympathetic at first, but then I can't remember exactly what Coach said, but then he kind of turns it on Coach. Yeah. Coach was basically being like, how can you do this to me? And making it about himself. And he's like, are you kidding me? My son is in a wheelchair. My life is over. I have insane bills.
Sorry. And he's kind of saying, not only do we have all these medical bills, but now I have to figure out how to, build all these ramps and put all that other money into it additionally.
Yeah. Pretty harsh quote here from Street's dad. He says, it's killing me to do this, but since I'm already dead, it doesn't really matter now, does it?
Yeah.
Woof. That's kind of rough. So that doesn't go well. Mr. Saracen starts at Garrity Motors, and Matt is just absolutely beaming with pride. His dad becoming a used car salesman. He could not be happier.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll see how that goes for Mr. Saracen.
Yeah.
Later in the episode. But when we cut to a conversation between Smash and Waverly as they're kind of walking through campus, and we get I thought a very brilliantly timed by Gaius Charles comedic moment where Smash says, "Hey Waverly, how's the tuba?" And she says, "Bright and shiny like your forehead." And as she's saying it, he pulls a handkerchief out of his pocket and rubs his forehead down while she's she doesn't even notice it happening.
Yeah.
It was, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was a little over the top, but way to go. Very
good.
I did laugh at that.
Yeah.
So Waverly is saying that she thinks that they just don't have anything in common, and Smash only thinks about football 24/7, which is Very true. And so Smash is kind of panicking, and she's like, well, do you have friends like that you talk about stuff other than football with? And Smash is kind of panicking, and then he sees Matt and Julie across the campus. Like, oh yeah, Matt and Julie. Oh, here's the quote. I have it. Is there anything about you that isn't football 24/7? Hell yeah. Anything we could talk about? Do you have any other friends that... Oh, Matt Saracen and Julie Taylor. We chill all the time. Talk about a whole mess of stuff besides football. I mean, immigration, Iraq, books, music, stem cell research, global warming, you name it.
Yeah, he goes into really heavy stuff. I'm glad that you found that quote because I did not want to pause and write all of those things down. But I did note that he starts with, we got a great Smash and Waverly back and forth. And that, he's like, oh, yeah, we talk about all these really heavy issues with Matt and Julie.
So he invites Waverly to kind of double date with them to the rodeo on Friday night. And Waverly responds, I love this. This is another good quote. She responds, all right, we'll give the Waverlash one last try. Smash is like, Waverlash? Mm-hmm, that's what you called it? Oh, that Smash Mouth contagious, girl.
So good.
Yeah, so good. Just another instance of Smash's interactions with females just being bizarre and hilarious.
Yes. Then we get a cut to Julie Taylor showing up angry at the Saracen household.
Yeah.
Matt got distracted. He was supposed to meet with her at the library, I believe.
Yep.
And got distracted because Grandma Saracen called him and thought that she saw a large spider or something like that?
Yeah, something.
Yep. And then he got home and he just started cleaning and then he completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Well, Julie says, all right, well, I'll help. And as she's really, as we'll come to find, uncharacteristically being friendly and understanding and turning the other cheek.
Right.
Matt pulls out that, oh, by the way, we're going on a double date with Smash and Waverly.
And you have to pretend like we do it all the time and lie. Lie to Waverly. Yeah. We go back to Tyra's home life then after that. And Tyra's mom and her deadbeat boyfriend, who we come to find out is named Bob, they're fighting. He gets way out of line, and starts slapping her around a little bit. And Tyra responds by going after him with a fire poker.
Yeah,
pretty BA. And she gets that look in her eye. Yeah.
Well, he gets a hold of the fire poker.
Yeah, he does. He takes it from him.
She gets up in his face.
Yeah.
And
kind of like the equivalent of grabbing the gun and sticking it to your head and being like, go ahead, pull the trigger type thing. But he does not swing on them with the fire poker and he leaves. She chases him out. Julie goes home to Coach and Tammy. After she leaves the Saracens, I assume, she goes home to Coach and Tammy and expresses her love and gratitude for them, and then just walks away and tells them goodnight and goes to her room. And Coach has this just very pleased, very satisfied and affirmed, oh, she loves us. Isn't that great? We're such good parents. And then cut to Tammy. She looks absolutely horrified.
Yeah.
It's and Tammy says, oh no, honey, something terrible must have happened. And she goes and chases Julie down and talks to her. And Julie just kind of spills her guts about what's going on with Matt and everything that he is carrying, the load that he's carrying, and the plates that he's spinning, everything that he's got going on. And Tammy says, well, maybe I can help him. Just have him come see me at school.
We do get kind of another short scene of Tyra talking to her mom in the bedroom. She's worried that Bob isn't coming back. Tyra's like, forget that loser. For real.
Yeah, she's pretty devastated.
Yeah. she's worried that she's not going to find anybody better than Bob, which is troubling, but also very realistic portrait of small town
absolutely
people with small self-esteem.
Yeah. Do we know what Tyra's mom's name is? Do we ever find that out in this episode?
I don't know if we do in this episode. We do for sure in the next episode, but I don't have it written down on either. So she'll just be.
I have no idea. Mom. Yep. So cut to another parent. Henry Saracen is very bad at selling cars. He is failing miserably. We see Buddy is watching him out the window. And Buddy's getting real excited. He's kind of giving the play-by-play like, oh, yeah, he's reeling him in. Here we go. And then Henry shakes hands with this elderly couple, and they walk away. And Buddy's like, what? What happened?
Yeah, he's like, I had him on the line, man. All you had to do was reel him in.
Yep.
And Matt's dad says, this is a great exchange. He says, like, oh, they weren't really financially ready at this time or whatever. And Buddy says, no time's a bad time with 5.9 APR. Like he's even in car salesman mode, even when he's not actually trying to sell a car.
He's selling the idea of selling a car to Henry Saracen. And then pulls out the secret weapon. Buddy's secret weapon.
The American flag lapel pin.
Yep. He pulls a lapel pin, American flag lapel pin, and basically tells him to just play up being a veteran, and that'll help him sell cars. And he justifies it, and said, when you're selling yourself. So just be who you are, and who you are is a hero, basically. But yeah, feels pretty dirty. Feels kind of like a sleazeball move.
It is a very big sleazeball move for sure. So next, Street and Lila are talking, and Street reveals to Lila that his parents have been fighting a lot. His dad's been sleeping on the couch. Mm-hmm. Street goes on, and he's kind of talking about the expensive medical bills and the difficulty that's putting on his folks.
And Lila kind of questions the whole lawsuit thing. Like, are you sure this is a good idea? And Jason's response is, you've been talking to Buddy?
So this is actually a really good time to bring up this week's episode sponsor, which is Medicare for All. Every other first world country does it. Jason Street's family wouldn't be in this conundrum with it. Medicare for All.
Really could have saved a lot of stress and heartache in Dillon, Texas, especially in the Coach Taylor household. Could have avoided all this. All right, fair enough. I'm surprised they're doing podcast ads, but we'll take what we can get.
Exactly.
So Lila's questioning whether it's a good idea. Jason it basically sounds like he is convincing himself that it's all justified and legitimate. He's kind of coming around. Like you said, he kind of got gaslit by his mom a little bit. And so now he's coming around. And Lila pledges that she's on his side no matter what because she loves him. So she's back on the Jason train for sure. 100%. Oh, yeah. Julie brings a casserole over to the Saracens to help out. And Matt kind of spills his guts about the situation with his dad. And he says, I guess I wanted him to want to be here and not just be here. Which was kind of a heartbreaking line. And then there's a little kissy between Julie and Matt. But she does she does a great job of comforting him and being right there by his side and all that.
Well, then we're at the rodeo.
We get a little
full title Rodeo Booster Club.
Annual women's. Yeah, I don't know. We get a little rodeo montage with Yeehaw again. They're reusing that. They must have paid money to get those rights, and so they're gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah, they said, listen, we're using this in 2 episodes for the money you're charging us.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, that was in the pilot episode. Nobody's gonna remember it. Wrong. Busted again.
But yeah, we get a little glimpse of Julie and Waverly interacting. And Julie is telling Waverly all about how, and this is a pretty not believable conversation, I thought, because Julie's telling Waverly how they like to go to this art house theater that's like 40 minutes away, and how last week they went to see the like 1930s French Beauty and the Beast movie, which, like, listen, I was a huge movie nerd in high school, especially, like, I was probably my most pretentious phase.
Yeah.
My ass wasn't. If Mitchell, South Dakota had a art house theater, I was not going to drive that hour to go see the 1940s French Beauty and the Beast. Like, I like a lot of art house movies and that kind of stuff, but like 15-year-old Julie Taylor, I doubt it. But allegedly Matt Saracen really liked it.
Well, Matt Saracen is pretty cultured. I mean, after all, when he hears the Pussycat Dolls, he cannot help but think of famed artist Jackson Pollock, if you've ever heard of him.
But he also does listen to Bob Dylan and draw pictures. So
that's true. Yeah. French Beauty and the Beast from 1930s is, you know, it might just be right up his alley, actually.
Maybe it is. Yeah. But Julie lets Waverly, she lies for Smash and says that Smash also likes to go with them.
If it was a stretch for Matt and Julie to go to that movie, it is a little bit too far to imply that Smash goes. Not just imply, to say that Smash goes to those films.
Yeah, Rivers. She's just like, we went to see Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast.
Cocteau.
1946. Yeah. I doubt it.
She said that, and I was just like, I don't know what that was, but okay. Yeah.
Anyway, we've got Buddy, who's supposed to be helping at the rodeo, and he's watching the Buckley Arnett Mead game. Now, I've got another question. Okay. Are the Panthers on a bye week this week? It's obviously Friday.
Again.
They already had a bye week.
It makes no sense.
It makes absolutely no sense.
I mean, the show is called Friday Night Lights, so I'm assuming that in West Texas, football games happen exclusively on Fridays.
It's got to be.
So it's not like this is a Thursday night game or a Saturday night game.
You wouldn't have the rodeo thing on a Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
On a school night. And if it was Saturday, they would have had a game that they played the night before.
All right, who wrote this episode? Carrie Aaron. Carrie Aaron, do better.
Yeah, come on.
I didn't even think of that, but that does make absolutely zero sense. But yes, Buddy has stolen away.
Yes, he is caught up. And I don't know how in the world they've got like this TV from like 1982.
Yeah.
And I don't
know,
know,
bunny ears going.
Yeah. I don't know how they're pulling in that game, but Buddy is entranced.
Yep. So his wife's not impressed. We see Matt trying to talk to Smash about the Arnett Mead game. He's a little worried about it, but then all Smash can talk about is Waverly, which is very much a switch on their parts. A little switch of roles there, which was pretty good. Tyra and her mom are walking through the fair, talking about Tyra's asking her if she ever considered moving away from Dylan. And while that's happening, the sleazeball boyfriend Bob walks up on them.
Shows up.
Wants to talk to Tyra's mom. We see Tim Riggins taking it all in. Tyra is looking very forlorn, and Tim is looking very sultry. It was just a shot, like a close-up shot of his face and his hair. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. But this is the first time we've seen Tim in this episode.
This whole episode.
But he sees
aside from when he was creeping on Lila at the beginning during the simultaneous football and football practice.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, I got a little too into that. I might have to edit some of that. Lila and Jason show up to the fair, kind of prepared for Jason to take some hate, it seems like. Like, all right, are you ready for this? Yep. So, because the whole town knows about the lawsuit.
Yep.
So then Tyra is talking to her mom, and she calls her mom a loser when it comes to men.
When it comes to men, yep.
Yep. And she threatens to move out if Bob moves back in. It's either going to be her or
ultimatum.
Bob. Yep. Ultimatum time. Everybody's at the fair, so we're just cutting back and forth between everybody right here. So sorry if this is hard to follow, but all right. So that we see Waverly and Smash is just being a real douche.
Yeah, he is laying it on thick, like more than up until this point we've seen him go hard on himself.
And Waverly is questioning him on what concert did you see at UT? Was it a male or a female? Yeah. Was it a symphony orchestra or a band? She's trying to catch him in a lie, and it works. And she's like, "You got them to lie to me," referring to Matt and Julie. And here's what Smash says. "It's your own damn fault. You can't see what's right in front of you. I'm the Smash." And then he turns around and enters the arm wrestling contest that they're watching.
Yes. And he wins. Yes. And turns around victoriously to celebrate, and Waverly is nowhere to be found.
She gone. Yep. All right. So Tim talks to Tyra. He saw her being sad, so he goes. He talks to her. She talks about how all the Colette women have this terrible, horrible trait where they get treated like crap by men and then let the men back in and back for more. And then Tim, not reading the room at all, apologizes for everything that happened with Lila and asks for another chance and swear it'll be different this time.
Yeah. Tim. Yeah. Pick your spots, Tim. This one ain't it. Anyway, after we see Tim talking to Tyra, we do see somebody who's got access to the microphone that has the loudspeakers also watching the Buckley Arnett Meade game.
Yeah, there's somebody riding a bull and the rodeo announcer's like, "Here's something you might like."
Yeah, and we see the final play of the game, and Buckley wins in dramatic fashion. This is where I have in my notes written down, are the Panthers in a bye week? Those are
unanswered questions. So everybody goes nuts, and we know at this point, and there's some debate about the extent of this, but we know that it's whether they go to the playoffs or not, right? So
yes,
everyone's going crazy, and people are like, "We're going to the playoffs," all this stuff. And then Smash, when the news gets announced, he takes it another step in true Smash fashion and yells, "We going to state all the way." He's already got his heart set on those unimaginable new heights. So that's it. The Arnett Meade lost, and therefore the Panthers are going to state.
Well, then we get a hard cut.
Oh my gosh. Maybe the best scene of the show so far. Yes. They knew it was ridiculous, and they just went all in on it.
Yeah, we get a hard cut to Buddy Garrity by himself in a church.
Yes, like stained glass background.
Praying?
No, not praying yet. Coming for to carry me home. He's singing Sweet Low Sweet Chariot by himself. In church.
I forgot about the singing.
Yeah. We just get the last line of the song. Yeah. Yep. And then he's praying.
He's praying, and he's thanking God for, and I quote,
"Yes,
letting such a crap team win."
It is a masterpiece of a prayer. Absolutely.
This is, an absolutely great bit. I was laughing out loud while watching this.
I'll save the full quote for quote of the episode because this prayer definitely makes my list. But it actually reminded me of a story of something that happened in chapel when I was in college that I wanted to share. Right along these lines. Okay, so I went to a Christian college, so we had chapel multiple times a week. And at this particular chapel, the drama ministries ensemble, they're like a traveling theater group that did different scripture passages and stuff like that. Pretty cool. But they were in charge of chapel, and they were doing this thing where they would take prayer requests and then they would like act out those prayer requests, like kind of the answer to those prayer requests, and how, and like somebody would play Jesus and kind of like act out how Jesus might be in this, the answer in this prayer request. And so they're just taking prayer requests from this chapel full of like 800 people. And they just got done with one about some kid's mom who had cancer. Okay, so it's like super, super like emotional and like heart-wrenching. And it's this like really tender moment. And so they're like, all right, any other prayer requests? And this guy from the football team up in the balcony shouts out, yeah, the Raiders win on Saturday.
No.
Oh my gosh. It was very Buddy Garrity. That's without the articulate nature of Buddy's prayers. Yeah, Raiders win on Saturday. It was awful. It was horrifying. So yeah, he was channeling some major Buddy Garrity vibes in that moment.
But did they act it out?
Yeah, so then that was the thing. So then you have a bunch of theater people acting out a football game and Jesus playing in the football game.
No.
Like, how do you answer? Like, everybody doing their best, like, I don't know. It was terrible. It was just one of those train wrecks that continues to just pile up.
Wow.
Oh, I'll never forget that. And now I'm in charge of chapel at that school. So we're not going to let that happen again. All right. So Buddy's thanking the Lord. But he does have just one more request. And Lord, I know you already know what it is before I ask it, but the playoffs, state. If it's your will, let us win state, dear God. In Jesus' name, amen. I also would like to note that they have like a really close up of his face, and he has like sweat on his upper lip. It's like Jesus sweating drops of blood in the garden. Yeah. Buddy's going after it.
Oh, incredible.
All right, so Coach and Street have a little talk. Finally, Street really passes the buck onto his parents, like, Coach, if this happens, just know I was against it, which I felt was a little disingenuous. Maybe he can't do anything to stop it, but
I feel like he's made his point that he isn't really on board with the whole lawsuit. So I think he's got something to stand on there
a little bit, but he just got done telling Lila that,
right.
He thinks it's kind of justified, but that was more, I guess, he's doing what he has to do, not necessarily that he supports it. So Matt goes to see his dad at the dealership and basically gives him permission to go back to Iraq. Like, Dad, I know you're not happy here.
How he gets to make that decision, I'm still confused.
Yeah, who's his like superior officer that is fielding all these phone calls? So wait a minute, you do want to go back now?
You're going back? You're not going back? Okay. And was apparently fine with whatever happens.
Yeah. Whatever you want, Saracen. Sure. We'll line up a plane ticket. We see Tyra packing things up. She's moving out.
Yes.
We think her mom has picked Bob, but it turns out that mom has picked her daughter over Bob, which is supposed to be a heartwarming moment, which really, in my mind, is like
more of a duh.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Correct decision. You didn't know points awarded.
Yeah. But Tyra's obviously relieved and happy.
Touched by it.
And then in our final scene, Smash is basically laying it on the line for Waverly, sort of giving her an ultimatum. Like, listen, I am who I am. I'm the Smash, baby. And it is the most conceited high school guy heartfelt speech ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of vibes did you get from Waverly? If you hadn't, well, you don't even hardly remember Waverly, I guess. So what kind of vibes did you get from this?
I honestly don't remember. I just have Smash apologizes to Waverly written down. I don't really remember what I watched this episode yesterday, so it has really stuck with me. I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, at first it's like she lets him walk away, and you're like, okay, I guess that's over with. But then it's kind of like but she keeps looking after him and kind of gets a little smile on her face and turns away. So, yeah, I think it seems like she's going to come around. Yeah, in this case.
Yeah, so that's the episode.
All right, so we'll take a little break here, and we'll come back and we'll dig into some characters. All right, welcome back. We're gonna dig into a few of the more prominent characters in today's episode. Let's start with Smash. We've been getting a lot more Smash lately, I feel like.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about Smash right now?
I, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Smash and his overall bit. However, I will say even I was like, especially at the rodeo, was like, all right, man, you're going too far. Like,
yeah,
you're making some mistakes here.
He even in his ultimatum to Waverly, he straight up says like, yeah, I like to refer to myself in the third person.
Yeah. So at least he acknowledges at that point how much of a dick he's been. But he's laying on a little thick. But I did love their little back and forth as they're walking through campus, especially the patting down of his forehead and the him saying that he discusses really heavy issues with Julie and Matt.
Yeah, including stem cell research. We kind of, in this episode, we start to see Smash back on his heels in a way, in a relationship in a way that we really have not before. Like, somehow Waverly really has the upper hand between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, as opposed to, say, our favorite bromance, Matt and Smash, Smash is the guy driving in that bromance. And pretty much in every relationship I can think of, other than maybe Mama Smash and really the women in the Williams family, because his sisters kind of give him the what's up as well. But outside of the home, Smash is usually in control and used to being the one that everybody's lining up to talk about and to wait hand and feet on and stuff like that. But that's not how Waverly operates. So we get kind of this new view of Smash in this case. All right, how about the Taylor family? What new developments do we see?
We've got the scene, as I mentioned, where Coach confronts Street's dad, where we kind of see once again, Coach kind of in an unfavorable light for the first time, I think, in the thus far in the show, 12 episodes in.
Yeah.
So we get a taste of that, which is kind of weird. We get that really interesting family bonding moment where Julie comes home and she inexplicably just says, I love you guys and you're the best parents in the world. And once again, as you said, we see that dynamic between Coach looking really proud and Tammy reading the room.
Yeah. No, something horrible has happened. Yeah. Yeah, I think that move of him like storming into another person's place of work to discuss the details of a pending lawsuit. That's not a great look for Coach. Not a great idea. In fact, kind of illegal or frowned upon by a court of law, I believe. But Coach has got a lot going on for sure. The coaching situation, obviously the Panthers are in a very tenuous position that happens to break the right way for them later on in the episode. So he's got that going on in the lawsuit, and his wife is the guidance counselor, which, as he said, it can be quite a nuisance at times.
Yes.
And then his daughter is dating his quarterback. So, a lot going on for Coach Taylor.
He's got a lot on his plate for sure.
We can cut him a little slack in this case.
Yeah.
And then Tyra and the Collette family, especially Tyra and her mom in this episode, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. These are outside of the episode with the big party. We don't really see much about Tyra's family life up until this point, and basically nothing really about her home life, because I don't even think Tyra's sister lives at home.
It doesn't seem like it, no.
So yeah, we kind of see really what's going on behind the scenes, and Tyra, kind of her motivation as a character.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a difficult but very realistic scene.
Yeah.
That she's kind of going through with her mom and dating all these, awful, crappy people.
Yes.
As she's just kind of witnessed. And we love Tim Riggins, but I think she sees a little bit of herself in her mom, and herself with Tim.
Yeah.
In those kinds of relationships.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, prior to this, we didn't really, we have seen Tyra, and we had that whole episode with the oil field guy where we really got a picture of how Tyra, you feel bad for her and kind of the situations that she finds herself in. But yeah, in this episode, we find out that kind of the habits in those situations of her mother have been perpetuated in Tyra as well. And she doesn't have probably a great picture of healthy relationships and stuff like that. So hence why she is, 15 and already experiencing some pretty heinous stuff for a young lady to go through. So yeah, kind of tough. Hang in there, Tyra. We love you. We're rooting for you.
Yeah. I know there's good things just over the horizon for you.
I don't even remember how Tyra's story ends up in the end, but
I don't remember for sure either, but I'm pretty sure she has a happy ending. I think
she's got to. You can't. Yeah. You can't beat her up this much and then not give her a happy ending. All right. I think that's it for our in-depth character analysis here. Let's come back in a second with our awards for the week.
Yes.
All right, we are back. We are going to hand out our weekly awards for this episode. We are let's start in right off the bat with Coach Taylor. We've been talking. Not the strongest episode for Coach.
No, I'm gonna give him like a 2.
Yeah, it was not good. And I feel like when I have a 1 down, and I feel like that was just like giving Coach the benefit of the doubt. Like,
right? Yeah, I think the shut up in the reaction to the groans, I think was his only real not even inspirational moment.
Yeah. No, and like we said, it's hard times for Coach, so understandable. But let's just go with the 1.
Yep.
It's low, Coach. Sorry. You'll pick it up a little next week.
You will.
All right. Julie Taylor, Hate-O-Meter. How are you feeling about Julie?
I really thought it was admirable the way that she really tries to take care of Matt, and how she realizes really how much he does have on his plate, and how much of a crap hand he's kind of been dealt, especially in comparison to her.
Yep.
So, Julie, for your empathy. Amy, friend of the show.
Yes. Amy Teagarden.
I mean, I'm thinking like a -6 here.
Ooh, yeah, it was a good episode for her. Here was a question I had in debating this. Do we give her credit for helping Matt and Smash out by lying to Waverly, going along with it, or do we dock her points for that?
That's a good question. Something I really hadn't considered as much as I should have. Part of me wants to say like it's a good friend move, and I think it's done with honor.
Yeah.
even if it's done to deceive.
It's not. It's a little white lie, right? Like it's not really hurting anybody. Yeah. It's helping Smash get.
I'd say it's a neutral lie. It's neither good nor bad.
Okay. All right. Well, I had a -3, so let's just let's meet in the middle somewhere. Give her how about a -4?
Cool.
Okay. Big Rig beer tally. Man.
Still 0.
I do not remember this. I do not remember this huge literal dry gap. Spell for the Big Rig beer tally here. Which is making this weekly award kind of boring. But
he quit drinking for Lila and then like accidentally stuck to it. Apparently.
Yeah. Like, oh geez, I'm still sober, huh? Okay. So we did not add to the Big Rig beer tally. So I believe we're still sitting at 20 beers for the season, which, we're in episode 12. So that's still not a bad average for a high schooler. But, all right. Any music cues? We had Yeehaw.
Freaking Yeehaw. That's all I had. It's the only one that I noticed. Apparently there was an Iron and Wine song, according
I saw
to
that on
IMDb.
I saw that as well. It did not ring a bell.
No, it did not click with me either. So I guess Yeehaw.
It's Yeehaw. All right. Oh man, let us not forget the Buddy Garrity Sleazeball Move of the Week.
And where do you even choose from this one? He had a lot of them. So just to go through the options.
Yeah.
We'll start with the those are just people. You're my quarterback.
Yes. Dehumanizing everyone else except for
Dylan Football.
Yep.
And we'll see, I think, in the upcoming episode, in episode 13, Buddy reaches even newer lows from this episode.
Absolutely.
But we'll get into that next week. But we've also got the asking Saracen's dad to play up his service in order to sell cars.
Yep.
Which is extremely sleazy.
Lapel pin and all.
Yeah. But I think the moment that takes the cake is Buddy in church.
Yes.
I forgot Buddy watching the game while he's supposed to be volunteering.
Yeah. There's too many to remember here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Buddy singing and praying to God in church. Really, yeah, those are all winners if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, should we go with the prayer for this?
I think the prayer, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Really the icing on the sleazy cake.
Ugh, yeah, I don't like that. All right. Outdated pop culture reference of the week. Did you have anything there?
Only thing that I had was Buddy's 2006 Mac.
Oh, yes.
The iMac on the screen attached to the dome.
Yeah. Yep. That's good. This was in a deleted scene, so, it can't be the official.
Non-canon.
But we have a scene of Smash talking to Matt about the double date with Julian Waverly. It's kind of just like a expansion on that scene. And the outdated pop culture reference is as Smash is walking away, he's like very happy with Matt agreeing to do this. And he's like, "Hey, Matt, pop that collar, baby." Which in 2006, popping the collar of your polo was high fashion.
Yeah, it was a hot look.
Very trendy. So that was my pop culture reference. But I think that brings us to quote of the episode.
Yes. The only one I wrote down was, "Those are just people. You're my quarterback."
Yep, I had that as well.
I know that there was a great back and forth between Smash and Waverly, which we've gone through and you've kind of read, as well as the full prayer quote, which I think that one may be my actual choice. I just didn't write it all down.
That is what I had. So the ones I had were coach at practice, little issues come to my attention, gentlemen. The annual Women's Booster League rodeo fundraiser and fair. Shut up. And then, those are people. You're my quarterback. Yeah, the Waverly Smash interaction. Immigration, Iraq, books, music, stem cell research, global warming, you name it. Also, that Smash Mouth contagious, girl. That's all in that same one. But yep, my pick for quote of the week that I have highlighted here was "Coming for to carry me." And we did not read the full prayer, so I'd like to read that at this time. Please bow your heads. Thank you, Lord, for letting Buckley win. I know it was nothing short of a miracle, and I thank you for that miracle. I know you truly are an all-powerful God to let such a crap team win. I know I've sinned, but I have to ask for one more thing. I know that you know what it is before I ask, Lord. The playoffs. State. If it's your will, let us win state, dear God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Powerful stuff.
Hate that, buddy. But it's winning quote of the episode in this case. So, Buddy doubling up on the sleazeball move of the week and the quote.
Yes. So, congratulations to Buddy Garrity.
Congratulations. All right. So that leaves us with rating the episode. I had a good time with it.
I did too. I think it's a strong 7.
Yeah. There were the inconsistencies and the unanswerable questions that if you're just going purely on entertainment value, pretty high. If you're going on quality of writing and consistency with the rest of the series, might take a little hit. But I'm good with 7. It was a good episode. Yeah. I had a good time watching it. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up, doesn't it?
That's our show.
All right. So what do you got? What do you got for the weekend after this? You got big plans? Or you just doing homework?
Just doing homework.
Right on, man.
Sitting at home.
Hey, what did you do to celebrate the 4th of July Independence Day?
So we went back to Platt for the day, just kind of saw my folks, saw some friends, kind of did the Platt, the all you can do in one day Platt tour. That was on the 3rd. The next day, we, from our porch or from our deck, the same one with the 1/100th of an acre garden on it.
Yes.
I got a pretty nice view of the Swiftel Center fireworks.
Oh yeah.
So we watched those. But that was really all. We didn't do a whole lot of too much exciting stuff, which is rare for me.
Yeah.
But with everything that's going on in the world, and everything that we've kind of got going on too, it's just kept it low key, nothing too exciting. Grilled some glizzies, some bratwursts.
Glizzies? I'm not familiar with this term.
Oh yeah, glizzies. That's what they call hot dogs these days on the streets.
Ooh.
People everywhere.
Glizzies.
Yeah. I
love hot dogs. I've never once heard. Where does that come from?
I'm not sure where it comes from, but it's like the thing now.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up. But
you think I'm doing a bit, but I'm not.
Okay, all right. Glizzies. I'll look that up after we get done here. But, I want to stay hip. I want to stay cool.
Yeah. Well, call hot dogs glizzies. That's the new slang. Anyway.
Okay.
What did you do for the 4th?
Yeah, we typically go to Lindsay's family out there in small town South Dakota, north of Sioux Falls, to the farm, and they spend hundreds of dollars on fireworks. We did not stay for the big stuff because, kids and whatnot, it gets pretty late.
It seems like the reason to stay. If I was Benny Kenny, seeing this expensive stuff, forget about it.
Benny Kenny is 8 months old and not really into things exploding loudly in his area. So, but our oldest, Diamond, her grandpa did buy her an obscene amount of like fountains and, the little smoke bombs and stuff like that. So we did some of that, ate some glizzies. Actually, no, there were no glizzies. But then, I went home, watched the big fireworks. They shoot those off in Sioux Center, like a couple blocks from our house, so we get a real prime viewing spot. And that was about it. So good times. Happy birthday, America. We believe in you. We can do better, but
we sure can. But we still love you.
Yep, we're thankful and we're grateful.
Absolutely.
Great episode. Another great episode to talk about next week. So please tune in. Check us out. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Let's touch God this time, boys. Let's touch God.